We got another service this evening. And if y'all had not fed everybody so well yesterday, it would have been more in church today. Y'all fed everybody so well. I told Pastor Bernie 2 plates, he only brought me 1. So I know y'all overfed. Amen. But we thank God. And the other week we gave Pastor and his wife an appreciation. But I think that he enjoyed yesterday more because my pastor loved people. And he loved to see people enjoy themselves. And I'm so thankful to God that we have the kind of people in New Beginning that we have. And my deacons, Deacon Crump and Deacon Harris and Deacon Moffett, and they didn't, I thought they'd have some aprons on, but they didn't, but they was all here. And them deacons could have been anywhere. They could have been watching football game, they could have been fishing. There's a whole lot of things they could have been doing. But they was doing what the pastor wanted done, and they were doing it from their heart. And we thank God for them. And Brother Pollard, I don't never get through thanking God for you, the kind of young man that you are. And don't let nothing turn you around. You just keep on doing what you do. Amen. Amen. From the Gospel of Luke, the 19th chapter, we want to read the 1st through the 10th verse. And it reads that Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was the chief among the publicans, and he was rich. And he sought to see Jesus, who he was, and could not for the press, because he was little of stature. And he ran before and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said unto him, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must abide at thy house. And he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. And when they saw it, they all murmured, saying that he was gone to be a guest with a man that is a sinner. And Zacchaeus stood and said unto the Lord, Behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore him fourfold. And Jesus said unto him, This day is salvation come to this house, for as much as he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which was lost. Whenever and wherever you find Jesus, you're just right to be saved. Amen. Whenever and wherever you find Jesus, you're just right to be saved. Lord, you the landlord, and there's a leak in your building. I say, Lord, you the landlord, and there's a leak in your building. I know that you fix it like you said you would. I said, Lord, you the landlord, there's a leak in your building. Lord, you're the landlord, there's a leak in your building. I know that you fix it like you And I'm not my own. Since you came into my life, all my troubles are now yours. Oh, I'll keep walking by faith, 'cause I know you make a way. You, my man, Lord Jesus, and I trust you every day. That's why I want to say, Lord, you, landlord, and as a lead in your breath, Lord, you, the landlord, and as a lead in your building, I know that you fix it like you said you would. Amen. We thank God. Today, whenever and wherever you find Jesus, you're just right to be saved. To the young people, especially here, I want to say to you, don't let your past or what other folk think about you define your future.
Amen.
Don't let your past. And trust me when I tell you, we all have a past.
Amen.
I have one and you have one. Mine may not be like yours and yours might not be like mine, but we all have a past. And all of us have made some mistakes. And trust me when I tell you, if you keep on living, you still might make some more. But don't let what other folks think about you stop you from doing what God would have you to do. We're living today in a vice world where no matter what you do, no matter what you don't do, you're not going to please everybody.
Amen.
So if you set your heart on trying to please everybody, you're going to end up being one miserable person. Because misery loves company. And while you're sitting up at night worrying about what more think about you, more at home sleep.
All right now.
Help me somebody.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't like me and don't do what I do, then I don't like you. And that's the mood of today. Satan wants us to be little copycats. Pastor says all the time, monkey see, monkey do, and that's all right. If you're doing something that somebody else is doing, that's right. But you don't have to do what everybody else do, because that's the way of the world. And it seems like they're having fun. But sometimes they are more miserable than you can imagine.
Yes, they are.
Some years ago, one of our rappers came out on stage one night with his pants hanging down, his underwear showing, and his gym shoes untied. And the next day, all over America, our young folks were walking around with their pants hanging down. But let me help you with something. That rapper was performing. When he got through performing, he put on his suit and his tie and walked out looking like somebody. Yeah. So the next day. But let me help you with something here this morning if I can. God did not make us to be copies of one another.
All right now.
He made us in his image, and the Bible says in his likeness, and none of us are the same. We all ought to be little Jesuses, but we are not. Help me somebody.
All right now.
Cain and Abel were brothers, but they were not the same. And this is why Cain killed his brother Abel, because they were different. One wanted to do things God's way, and the other one wanted to do things his way. Esau and Jacob were twins, but Esau and Jacob were not the same. I saw Siamese twins born into the world, and they looked so much alike that the mother couldn't hardly tell them apart, but they were different. God has made every man, every woman, boy, and girl.
Yes, it is.
There are no two the same.
All right now.
No two, they say, have the same DNA. I don't know how true that might be, but I know for a fact, no two have the same fingerprint. And it's amazing that all of these millions and millions of people on this earth, they are all made different by God. Yeah. And Satan has put it into the heart of man to be against his brother because they are not the same. So this is the world that we live in. Black don't like whites, and whites don't like blacks. Short don't like tall, and tall don't like short. Shapely don't like obesity, and obesity don't like shapely. Long hair don't like bald heads, and bald heads don't like long hair. Straights don't like gays, and gays don't like straights. Old don't like young, and young don't like old. This is a tactic of the enemy.
Yeah.
And I think I need to tell you, this tactic don't start with old folks, it starts with children. Children can be some of the cruelest people on the face of the earth. How do you know more? I know it by experience. Because I grew up in poverty. I didn't come from a rich family. I came from a single parent of one grandmother. And I wasn't able to wear the clothes that other children wore. And beyond that, when I was 9 years old, I had a bicycle accident that made me crippled. And because I was black, we didn't have Obamacare then. You couldn't just walk in the hospital and get care if you were black. You had to know somebody that knew somebody. And it took my grandmother 2 years to find out somebody that she knew that had helped get me into the Mercy Hospital. In the meantime, I had to walk around crippled. And not only that, but I was slow growing. I didn't start growing really until I was 15 years old. I was a little bitty fella. So all of these things were a cause of other children not really liking me. Because I was crippled, they called me Hoppy, they called me Crip, or they teased me. I was too short to play basketball. I was too light to play football, and I couldn't run fast enough to play baseball. So I was at a disadvantage. And they would tease me unmercifully. I couldn't talk to the girls because the boys would tease them and the girls would shun away. But I thank God tonight that I had 2 teachers. And if I could go to their grave this evening and tell them how much I appreciate it. While the children were teasing me, an old gray-haired lady named Mrs. Wilson and the other one named Corinne Marshall, they sat down with me and told me, Tommie, you can be better than them. I said, how can I? I'm short, I'm little, I'm crippled. They said, don't let that define your future.
All right now.
I said, well, what can I do? They said, get in those books and read everything you can. And from that day to this one, I read everything from Dagwood and Blondie to Shakespeare. I read it.
All right now.
I read it. And so what it did for me, it put me above the rest of them in the class. And those football players and basketball players and baseball players had to come to me to help two of them to keep their grades up. Quite naturally, we had some dumb girls in school, so they had to come to me too. And you know that was all right. Yeah, but children, I'm saying to you little children, you might see somebody that's at a less disadvantage than you, but don't tease them because you never know what point you will drive them to. Let me help you with this, and I know I always tell you something about Detroit. But and I'm soon through, there was a woman in Detroit that had 2 daughters. She divorced her husband, and somehow she got involved with a woman. I don't know, they might have already been involved for the divorce, I don't know. But anyway, the other woman was a policewoman. And they moved together as lovers. And the news got out. And the children at school would tease those 2 little girls, one 13 and one 14. Every day they would tease them. You got 2 mamas. Your daddy is a woman. They would just tease them. And the children would come home crying unmercifully and telling their mother, your lifestyle is causing us to be teased. The mother said to the mom, said, this is my life. I don't care what them children say. They had a cousin, 16 years old, that thought he was a little gangster. And they told their cousin what they were going through. The cousin said, well, what y'all want to do? They said, we know where mama's money is. And we'll give anybody $50 if they just kill her. He said, I'll take care of it. The next day, that 16-year-old boy came to the house while the policewoman was at work. The children were in the living room, and the mother was upstairs in the bedroom. That kid went upstairs with a .25 automatic and emptied it on that mother. The neighbors heard the shots and saw the boy when he ran out the door, and they called the police. This is the tragic part about it. When the police came, the door was still open. Police walked in, and the 2 girls were sitting in the middle of the floor, dividing money and jewelry. And the police was trying to talk to them to find out who did or what happened. Those children never looked up. They never answered the policeman. I don't know whether it was some kind of shock or trauma or whatever it was. And I followed the case as long as I could. And the last thing I remember, those 2 children had been sent to a mental institution because of being teased by people that didn't like what was going on in their home. And so, today in our text, and I'm just about to now, the Bible said that there was a man by the name of Zacchaeus.
Yes, God.
Y'all come on, help me now. And he lived in Jericho.
Uh-huh.
The Bible said that one day Jesus was passing through Jericho.
Yes, he was.
First of all, I think I need to tell you, Zacchaeus here is a grown man.
Uh-huh.
But I ought to tell you that Zacchaeus wasn't always grown.
Uh-huh.
Zacchaeus had a childhood like any other normal being. Well, the Bible tells us that he was short of stature. In other words, Zacchaeus was a little midget. Well, I can imagine growing up as a child.
Uh-huh.
I can relate to Zacchaeus' situation. He wasn't tall enough to be a gladiator. He wasn't heavy enough to get into the thing that the other boys got into. No matter Zacchaeus was often teased and ridiculed, often ostracized because of his size. But here we find that he's gotten grown and the situation is really no different. For the Bible said that Zacchaeus was chief among the tax collectors. And let me help you, nobody lacks a tax collector.
All right now.
If you don't believe me, ask anybody when the Internal Revenue has knocked on your door. I promise you, you won't lack them.
Yes,
Well, not only that, it said that Zacchaeus was rich. And most folk don't like rich folk because rich folk look down on poor folk. Well, last but not least, it said that Zacchaeus was short of stature.
Yeah, Lord.
But he heard about a man named Jesus. He heard that this man, Jesus, could give eyesight to the blind. He heard that this man, Jesus, could make the lame walk and the dumb talk.
Yes, Lord.
Zacchaeus had heard this man, Jesus, could heal the sick. But most of all, what he heard about Jesus was that Jesus was a man of compassion. That Jesus was a man that loved everybody. When Zacchaeus thought about this man, he had to be reminded, I got to see this man.
Yeah, Lord.
Because I never saw another man that loved me. I haven't had no friends to have compassion on. So the Bible said that as Jesus was passing through Jericho, Zacchaeus joined the gathering throng. But when he got down there, he found he had the same situation. All he could see was the backside of other people.
Yes, Lord.
Because he was small of stature. But Zacchaeus had a determination. And that's what I want to tell you this morning, no matter what you've been through. All you need is a determination.
Yes, Lord.
Well, the Bible said that Zacchaeus got in front of the crowd. And I can see him with his little short legs running ahead of the crowd. Until the Bible said he found a sycamore tree. Climbed up that sycamore tree and found him a limb to sit on. And there he sat until Jesus got to where he was. Well, what surprised Zacchaeus now was that he was able to look and see Jesus.
Yes.
A man that he never seen before.
Yeah, Lord.
A man that he knew should not know anything about him. But the first thing Jesus said was Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus.
Called him by his name. And I think I ought to tell you this evening, I know a lot of men are trying to be women. And I don't care how much makeup they put on, how long they grow the hair. I don't care about the breast implant or nothing else. But if your mother named you Bob and you change it to Barbara, when God meets you in judgment, He's not going to call you Barbara. He's going to call you by the name your mother gave you. Can I get a witness?
All right, now.
So he knew Zacchaeus before he got to him and said to Zacchaeus, make haste and come down. Don't waste no time. Hurry up, come on down. For today I must abide at your house. Oh, Zacchaeus, Zacchaeus is beside himself. The Bible said that he made haste, he came down. Well, legend says that the reason sycamore trees don't have bark on them is because Zacchaeus slid the bark off the tree when he came down. But anyway, the Bible said that Zacchaeus received him joyfully.
Yes.
He has all these people out here. And Zacchaeus, the little midget in the crowd, is able to walk down the street with Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
Jesus is coming to my house. What y'all think about that? Zacchaeus is beside himself. I don't know what they might have talked about when they got there, but Jesus got to him.
Yes, Lord.
And Zacchaeus said, I'm ready to give half of what I got to the poor.
Uh-huh.
And if I rob any man,
Yeah, Lord.
and I know he had because he was a tax collector, I will restore him for four. Well, the next thing that Zacchaeus heard was that this day salvation has come to this house. Jesus was not concerned about him being a tax collector. He was not concerned about the money he had. He was not concerned about him being a midget. But when he found Jesus, he was just right to be saved.
All right now.
I'm gone now, y'all, but that same Jesus, they did him the same way they're going to do you and I. They didn't like Jesus because Jesus would tell the truth. They didn't like Jesus because when it came time to go to church, the Bible said that Jesus went to the temple every Sabbath, as was his custom.
Yes, Lord.
You start going to church, you're going to lose some friends. But you're going to lose some friends that you never needed in the first place.
All right now.
Well, they decided they didn't want Jesus, and they decided that they would get rid of him. The Bible said that one Thursday evening they came out in the garden, and there they arrested him.
Uh-huh.
Took him down to Pilate's courtroom, and all night long they marched him from Judgment Hall to Judgment Hall.
Yes, Lord.
All night long they spit on him and called him everything but Jesus Christ. And early Friday morning they put a cross on his shoulder and marched him down the dusty streets of Jerusalem.
Yes, Lord.
Sometimes he would rise and sometimes he would fall. But I'm glad to see him to tell you he made it up the hill of Calvary. There they laid him down and drove nails in his hand and in his feet. Hung him between earth and heaven, between two thieves. And I heard from the 6th to the 9th hour, it got dark on Calvary. I heard out of the darkness, Jesus crying, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. He died, I tell you. They took him down and buried him in a borrowed tomb. And all night Friday, he stayed in the grave. All day Saturday, he stayed in the grave. All night long, he stayed right there. But early Sunday morning, somebody help me say early. He rose with all power in his hand. So it makes no difference whether you like me or not. And it makes no difference whether I like you or not.
Yes, Lord.
Because Jesus just said I had to like you, but he did say I got to love you. And Jesus wants us to love each other. But wherever you are in life, whatever you have done, you just right now, to be saved.
Yes.
Come to Jesus. Come